Hello guys, welcome back to another daily stream, and I'm here to tell you everything that I should say the most important parts about crypto, what's going on right now, and why I don't think that this relief rally is going to continue for very long, and we're likely to see more downside. I know that's going to mean that a lot of you are going to click off now, so thanks for sticking around. But I just want to go through why it is that I think this, and also cover off two very important stories that we have today. So I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to jump straight into it. And bomb, what we can see is that there is a very strong relief rally happening right now. 6.5% for Binance coin. And then we see 8% for Solana. Very, very nice indeed. And obviously, the main two that we're looking at here is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Typically, it's going to be these like major altcoins that will jump first. So obviously, Bitcoin traditionally jumps first. And then we see Ethereum. And then we see the likes of these like Solanas and stuff like this jumping up. I did see that someone bought $210 million worth of Shiba Inu. The guy purchased I can't remember how many trillion Shiba Inu coins, which is the largest transaction in history. So I'm surprised that's not up more. But just want to jump straight in. So we saw that Voyager, they did file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We put that out onto our Twitter. Make sure that you follow us on there if you don't already. So they have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They are proposing a recovery plan. So, it's been a bit of a mess. Obviously, I went through previously about Voyager. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you do. It kind of goes through the life stages of where they said they were going to distance themselves from Celsius, and then also that they put out a warning. Hey guys, you're going to default to 3AC because they had like 500 million exposure. And then they did actually default, and then they halted withdrawals, and now they've actually gone bankrupt. So at least we now know what the rough life cycle is of a company that's about to go bankrupt. And it's saying, look, guys, some of our creditors are in trouble. So, we need money off them. If they don't pay us, we will be in trouble. That's going to be the first thing. And then, squashing any rumors of, oh, no, we're not actually doing anything. We're fine. Don't worry. We're liquid. And a couple companies have kind of come out and said that recently, squashing these rumors, which actually turn out to be true. And then we see locking of withdrawals, and then, eventually bankruptcy. But I do, I think that I struggle to get that out there. No. If you stick to this kind of nuanced way of thinking, you will then put Celsius in the same bag, which is not actually true. I think because they were early, and this is the point, guys, because they were early, I think this really helped them. They didn't have to keep, I guess, enduring themselves while there was a bank run on their assets. So Celsius locked off any withdrawals, transfers, and swaps very early on, well, relatively. They hit the news first. And I think as a result of that, everyone started looking at it's called CeFi, like centralized finance, but it's also like in the DeFi ecosystem. So I don't know what you want to call it. We'll call it CDFi. But everyone started then looking at the other platforms and, if I've got money with them, then I better actually maybe take it out. And so that spread fear onto these other companies who couldn't lock out as quickly. But they have successfully lowered their liquidation price again. And we can kind of see this. So there was a whale alert. Twitter, again, posted it on our YouTube, on our Twitter. I might have COVID, guys, by the way. My friend tested positive on Saturday. I saw him on Saturday. He tested positive. So my brain's not quite here. This is why. But we're seeing a lot of movement of these different wallets in and out of FTX. Now, the reason why I kind of want to highlight this is we're following, and I've gone through and I've followed one directly from Celsius. So the Celsius network, this is Wallet 11 is what it's called. Where's the actual name for it? Here it is, Celsius Network Wallet 11. Now, obviously, they'll have quite a few wallets, and they move just stuff in and out. But you can see here, they obviously have accounts with where they have wrapped BTC. So they obviously trade this. Sushi Swap, they'll trade that. You use the Aave lending platform. for example, stable coins. So you can kind of use these to look into, well, what are these guys actually doing? But one of the things that I want to kind of highlight is that you can see that they are still, actively moving money around. Now, it might just be that they've locked everybody in. So obviously, they can still afford to spend your money, but you just can't take it out. But the question is, where's it going? And it seems to be going in the right direction. So I'm going to follow this from 2 days ago. So this could have been, when we see these headlines come up, go away. When we see these headlines come up, from yesterday, it probably would have originated from, a movement like this. I'm not going to say this specific one, but it goes over to this address. And then as you can see here, we see it's come in. So from Celsius, it's come into one of their other wallets. And then we have the movement pretty much straight away back out into a separate wallet. And you can see this here. And then from here, it's going into the wallet we're currently on, OX4, and then it goes into OX019. Boom. Then you can see this again, 67,000. They've topped it up a little bit. So this was 67,300 here, topped up by an extra 400 or so ETH, and then up to this 67,700 mark. And then you see again, it's coming in from here, but then it doesn't kind of fully go out. It then gets split up, you see. So we have a few different, so this has come in obviously from the last one, but then it goes out. So some goes into here, some goes out into these other different wallets here. So these will be to either pay off creditors. If they're like burying money, this could be like, I don't know, the CEO's wife's account, but I don't think that's the case. But then just having a look, so 17,000 ETH, which is one of the larger transactions, apart from this, but this came in from a separate source, which actually was this same one before. So again, we see not only this 67,000 we've been tracking, but from this wallet, we have another transaction of almost 36,000 ETH. But yeah, so looking at this, and then we go into here. So boom, we had a 17,000 ETH come in, as you see, into here, and then it goes out straight away onto FTX, and then onto FTX because it's not on the blockchain, it's closed, so you don't know quite what happens. But this, you can see lots and lots of transactions are coming in from different wallets straight onto the exchange, and they're probably using this to then trade their Ethereum for Bitcoin or for USD or something where they can actually use to pay the people that they owe, essentially. So this is still going on. And so this is kind of one of the major wallets that I'm seeing that shows that Celsius are still dedicated to reducing that debt, to managing their problems. And this gives me a little bit of faith in Celsius. We've just seen Voyager go essentially file for bankruptcy. 3AC did it a couple of days ago. So this does give me a little bit of confidence. And I think that could be maybe part of the reason why we're seeing a bit of a pump recently. I also think part of the reason why we're seeing some of these elevated prices here is that, we had and I'll bring this up onto the chart while I talk about it. I'll go, let's zoom in a little bit further. So I've gone to the 4-hourly, there's a lot going on this chart, I know, but let's just try and ignore that. So this is kind of where we saw like a big pump, really. Now this kind of coincides with yesterday, the New York Open times. So and it's not, I'm on, so for me at like 6:30, my time is when the stock market opens in the US. So I definitely think the next candle here being, so for me, if it's 6:30, this next candle's at 8 p.m. So, it's definitely within this time frame. I think that's why we're seeing such a heavy buying, because Monday, all markets were closed. The normal stockbroker guys, they're all on holiday. It was holiday for them, 4th of July. So having this, on the 5th of July, is immediate opportunity to buy. I think that's why we're seeing price action to the upside. But then also, whether they're covering shorts, whether, don't know exactly what it is that they're doing, can't speak to the mindset. But I think that's why we're seeing this primary push. Because without this, even from here, we've seen, more movement to the downside, which is not great. But I'll bring us back onto the daily just to have a look at the wider picture. Again, this was on Twitter. Make sure you follow us over there. So you see massive movement to the downside. This is basically a flag. It's a flag. I don't know how to tell you this. And then you see this kind of pinching of price action here. And typically this leads to a downside. So I think we'll be trading within this zone, and then we'll have a breakout of here. And that will bring us down. Again, we can look at price targets. But to be honest, guys, I think because this is a technical pattern, and there's so many different fundamentals at play at these lower levels, the levels of support are far, far greater than when these technical patterns typically roll out and kind of play out. We're not going to be able to apply the traditional kind of technical, drag this and see where from the breakout what the price action is. I don't think we're going to be able to apply those laws here just because of so many different fundamentals. There's going to be mad support. And so we've always said, 15,500, that's kind of the final price for us, the floor price where we're looking at. It could go a little bit lower. I think, maybe the wicks might bring it down to that 13, but that's lowest. I don't really see that. And so for me, I'm personally maybe not a buyer at the moment. Personally, I think we're going to see a little bit more downside, maybe coming back into that 19,000 region, especially because what we have is this week we're looking at the weeks ahead, the forecasts. So the forecast that we see for unemployment rate and for non-farm payrolls. Again, I mentioned this yesterday, non-farm payrolls is just jobs that have been added in the past month. We need unemployment to essentially go up in order for the economy to go up, which I know sounds like, surely you don't want that, but you kind of do, because then the traders and, the bankers all think, oh, good, the economy's under control. We like to see unemployment because then that means the GDP goes down and inflation goes down, and that means that everything's getting good again. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. Right now, my primary focus is on this, and this is happening on Friday, usually first Friday of every month. So yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of a sell-off, and I think we'll have a little bit of range, but not too much. But yeah, I'm personally thinking over the next couple of days, a little bit of pullback, and then it's hard to say if we have a big movement in the traditional markets. Let's just look at, I don't know, it's going to be the US 100, it's the Nasdaq. Yeah, again, massive buying pressure, correlated again. But yeah, having a look at this, I think if we see some kind of massive movement from the Nasdaq, but we're in a downward trend, then we're going to be able to see movement in the price of Bitcoin as well. But anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. I've just been, on my little rant there. Hope you enjoyed it. 12, almost 13 minutes of pure rant. The key things, guys, watch out on Friday, huge volatility. Thursday night and Friday morning, well, pretty much wherever you are. Just think about it relative to the US. Just think people are going to want to get out of their positions. So I think all markets will see a little bit of a sell-off because they're anticipating, they'll wait for Friday when we have that data about the job claims, and then people will have buy orders set or sell orders. So I recommend you do this yourself. Put in some buy or sell orders, and then just, if we do get bad news and it comes back down to the downside, you'll be in the market. Or if if it goes up, you'll be able to catch a little bounce as well. But it's really, really hard to be able to guess that. Anyway, guys, I hope you're doing well. Wish me well on my journey through the COVID. I will get a test and I will let you all know. But thank you very much. As always, it's a pleasure. Like I said, don't forget, subscribe, join, and follow us on Twitter. Take care, everybody. Like the video.